All right, Rocco man, I think it is time for me to go hit a few tennis balls. All right, buddy, you stay here and I'll be back in a few. Roger Federer, one of the all-time greats. Maybe not the GOAT. Arguably he is, or some people say no way, it's Novak Djokovic. Well, if you're just going by sheer numbers, Novak has 25 Grand Slams, Rafa, Nadal, 22, and Roger's only got 20, which seems like a heck of a lot. So, some people will argue he is the GOAT. He had the best looking game, the most graceful and athletic game, almost effortless in a lot of cases. If we could all stroke the ball like Roger. Well, I don't know if you saw this, but 2 years ago at Dartmouth, for commencement, Roger Federer was the speaker, the commencement speaker. Yeah, pretty amazing stuff. I took the time to watch because I'd only heard about bits and pieces of what he talked about. I wanted to see what he really said. And it turns out some of the things he said not only apply to tennis, but I'm going to say they apply to our financial lives as well. Let's hit a few and I'll tell you about it. Woohoo! So Roger was the commencement speaker, 2024 graduating class at Dartmouth. Roger said he's only been on a college campus twice in his life. And the second time, that day, he gets a doctorate. So he got an honorary doctorate degree from Dartmouth. Not too bad. And he did mention how much he liked the beer pong they were playing on campus that day. Or I guess the few days he was there. They probably don't just play it the one day he's there. I think there was a connection too between Roger's longtime business partner and manager, his daughter, the business partner, the agent. His daughter was graduating that day as well, I believe. So pretty cool stuff. So let's dig into what Roger talked about. Yeah. Boom. Oh, that was not a Roger or forehand right there. The first thing I really liked about what Roger said was that he does not like the word retirement. Then when he was retiring from tennis, he didn't like people saying, "What are you going to do next? You're going to be retired." Didn't like that phraseology. And I don't like it either. I don't think we should ever retire. That's not how we were made. Retirement is only new in our culture just in the last 100 or so years. In the late 1800s, over 75% of the guys over age 65 were still working. So we were made to work. It's only a recent phenomena, a recent cultural construct, in my opinion, that our goal is to get to a certain age and retire. And you know why we do that? Because Social Security benefits become available in our 60s. So how is that not just some arbitrary age? Like my ball machine just arbitrarily not shooting anymore. We're gonna have to check that out. But yeah, it's just all arbitrary. So he says it's not retirement, rather he graduated from one big thing to another big thing. So he graduated from tennis and he graduated to another big thing, which is all his worldwide empire of various businesses and events like the Labor Cup. So he's still got a lot of stuff going on. He's just not sitting back on the couch and watching Netflix, or like the Netflix thing on Novak Djokovic, or was it Rafa? I know there's a couple of documentaries out there, but yeah. So Roger does not like the word retire, and I don't think we should either. we're good until we're gone, man. We were built to keep working. So I'm gonna work on my machine here and see if I can't get a few more backhands going. Roger was also a big fan of diversification. On the court, he always came with a plan B. He said first he liked to go to his opponent's strengths. If they had a big forehand, he would attack their forehand. He wanted to beat them at their game. If they had a great net game, then Roger said, I'm going to serve and volley. I'm going to get in on everything. But if those weren't working, then he would go to what he would call plan B, because he was confident in that too. But he knew if he could beat them at their strength, then he would have the win. So diversifying on the tennis court was one of Roger's favorite tactics. Or is it strategy? Tactics, strategy. All right, for us, in our personal financial lives, we should diversify, whether it's in our investments, not investing in the same company or same even mutual fund or same thing in your 401k. You want to spread it around. That way, if one part of your game is not working, you've got another part to prop it up, and you still will likely have a good chance to win. So diversifying, that's what we do with our portfolios, is spread them not only among companies, but types of companies, large, mid-sized, small companies, and also locations, not just US, but a little exposure around the world. And Roger's one guy who knows what it's like to play around the world. All right, I think we got to pick up a few balls and reload this thing. Roger Federer played about 1,500 or so career matches. His winning streak, his percentage of wins in those 1,500 matches was 80%. Pretty darn good. But if you break it down by the points, remember the points contribute to the game score, and then the games to the sets and the sets to the match. 2 out of 3 regular tournaments, Grand Slams, it's 3 out of 5 sets. So that's a lot of points. Roger, guess how many points Roger actually won throughout his career? Remember, 80% winning streak in his career, but the actual points he won, 54%. Just slightly, whoop, that was really off balance, just slightly better than half. That doesn't seem all that great. And yet, the guy had an amazing, stellar career and still is arguably the biggest name in tennis. Everybody knows Roger Federer. Whew. So, if the market does, since 1926 through 2025, the market on an annual basis has gone up about 75% of the time. That's better, well, kind of getting close to Roger's 80% match percentage winning streak, but nowhere near as low as the actual points won. So the point I'm trying to make is the actual points, the actual news of the day, the actual breaking news, the crisis du jour, the reason legacy media wants you to get back and watch every day, well, it doesn't matter all that much. And the day-to-day market ups and downs, just like Roger's point by point win percentage, not as critical as just hanging in there, playing that last point like it's the most important thing in the world, but then forgetting about what happened and concentrate on the next thing. Same thing we should be doing with news stories of the year. I bet you can't even remember, because I barely can, the biggest news stories as it relates to financial news so far this year. And yet, look how far the market has gone up so far this year. Come on, we just hit records this closing week, all-time highs. So, yeah, so it's not so important what legacy media keeps telling you. You got to pay attention to, because they're trying to buy your eyeballs and get you back and think you got to do something tomorrow. No, stay the course, forget the past, focus on right Now that was a better forehand. And then you'll meet your long-term goals and win as many Grand Slams as you choose. Woo. All right, starting to thunder. That means lightning. And in Florida, not a good combo. We're gonna pick up and we'll see you next round. Good for the courts, right? Well, we got this. And that camera is waterproof, right? Well, let's just hope. Let's hope it is, because it is already wet, right? Well, we got the balls up. So they're back in the machine, all wet. I'm a little wet. Courts are wet, which is really good for clay courts, but not when you're on them. So I'm gonna leave you with be like Roger. Don't like the word retire. Think of it as graduating from one big thing to the next. Yeah, you don't want to go home, melt into the couch, and binge Netflix the rest of your life. You got too long to live, man. You can start a whole brand new life. And diversify. Roger liked to diversify his game plan. You can do the same with your financial life and your investing life. Don't put all your, what's that phrase? Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Yeah, that's why we spread it around to different types of companies in investment portfolios, and just the stuff you do out in your real life, budgeting, where you allocate your monthly funds. You can diversify there as well. And be aware of the numbers. Roger knew 80% winning percentage of the 1,500 matches he played over the course of his career, and he knew down to 54% how many points over that long career he actually won. So not getting too focused on any one point like Roger doesn't, and we don't get too focused on any one news event or any one breaking news situation. Let it go in one German Shepherd's ear and out the other ear, and just forget about it. Focus on what's happening right now. And I say, forget about legacy media, social media. Enjoy your life. Make it the best life you can live. Enjoy your life. Enjoy your family. Have fun every day. Spread the love. And you, my friend, will stay dry when you want to stay dry. Today, I'm loving the rain. We'll see you next time.